I want to talk Halo Season 2, Episode 5 real quick. Throw out some thoughts. Episode 5 kind of went as I figured it would do after Episode 4. They spent a bunch of cash on Episode 4 with the effects work, and it makes sense that they wind things down probably for Episodes 5 and 6, and then maybe ramp up for 7 and 8. But all that's to be said, this show suffers from some of the same problems, for most of the same problems that it has through Season 1 and, the lower parts of Season 2 this year. The things they still continue to get right is it looks like Halo. When the Halo stuff is happening, whether it's the Spartans with their weapons, the Covenant, the spaceships, the other technologies, all that stuff still pretty much works. The Cortana thing is a little off-putting still. I don't necessarily like the design that they did for Cortana, but that's a small nitpick, really. All that stuff still works good. I'll even still give them credit through this episode for wanting to explore a couple of ideas like life and death, the afterlife, what it means to leave the trauma or that life behind and move on and do other things. Like, so they have other things that are interesting. They really do. They have that stuff. But the problem is every time they start talking about one of those interesting things, they kind of just shoot right past it. It's like that meme with the car on the highway where it's like, the straight path is, nice, easy story that everybody would like going in this direction. But then to get off the exit, the car just kind of like veers off abruptly and the sign reads some shit nobody wanted to hear about. And the car's just like on two wheels, like rolling over as it goes off. And that's this episode. Like every single time they touched on an interesting idea, we want to just like slam the brakes and roll off the road and get into some Quan stuff. Or we want to slam the brakes and fly off the road and get into some Lyra stuff. Like, who cares about these two characters? They're duller than ditch water, both of them. The Quan stuff is worse because we re-engage the protector of her people nonsense from Season 1. Like, guys, this is the worst part of your show. That nobody wants to see this. Nobody. The character is nails on chalkboard annoying every time she appears. It's like, if the show is about her, then just make the Quan show. You could do that. That might be a decent YA show to make, that she finds out that she's the tropey, stereotypical protector of her people, revenge quest, balanced nature, all that stuff, fine. Go make that show. But that's not this, and Halo didn't need it. There was enough to explore with the Covenant and the UNSC and, the Master Chief as a character, his relationship with Cortana, his relationship with Halsey. There was enough there. Having a squad of Spartans is reminiscent of, some of the other games, like Reach and other games and other parts of the media that had other Spartans that had different personalities than the Chiefs. That's fine. We could have had all those, and we've had them. But really, only one of them has amounted to anything, and that's Riz, who I think they did something interesting with her character in getting her to kind of leave all of the combat stuff behind. But it all gets blown by so quickly, so we can do the Soren and Lara searching for missing Kessler nonsense. Like, dude, I don't care about any of that. Like, Soren as a character would work fine on his own as the kid that ran away from the program and then meets back up with the Chief later in life and reluctantly has to join the squad for whatever reason. Like, the extra baggage here just drags this show to a screeching halt every single time it comes up. Like, it's too bad. It really is, because every now and again they hit on some decent stuff that I wanted to see more. The show also suffers from a lack of male characters, which is weird for a game that probably has like a 95% player base, reader base, whatever. There's like 3 dudes on this show. There's like the Chief, there's Vanek who died, there's Keyes who died, and there's Ackerson, whatever his name is, the villain, who didn't have any lines of dialogue this week. Every other guy that's shown up has been a bit side character who's been an a-hole and who's died. Like really? Okay, I mean, I guess that's cool if we're going to go that route, but we shouldn't have gone that route, I don't think. This episode here also furthers this weird storyline for the Chief that doesn't add up, where he's like this dirty, hairy, vengeful character that wants, he needs to get answers and get justice for his team that's been put down. I'm like, you can go that direction. It's a direction, but it's not one I think most people wanted out of the Chief. Like, in this episode, he explicitly tells Halsey and Riz that it's more important to him, because he's already dead, that he pursue Parangoski and Ackersbury, I don't know what his name is, than it is to actually follow through on finding the Halo, defeating the Covenant, and preserving humanity. That'd be like, that's like every inverted trope of like Superman, Batman, Luke Skywalker, like all the stuff that makes those characters tick that they flipped upside down in recent years in different media. That's like that. for the chief, and it just doesn't make sense. Like, no, the chief would put up the loss of his guys up on a shelf for a while, do the mission, sacrifice himself if necessary, and then go get, you know, the ONI for them, for the politics that they tried, not our politics, but I mean the show's politics, like the reason that Reach went down the way it did. I mean, like, then he'd go get the perpetrators of that. Like, he wouldn't do that first and hope that, you know, the Covenant didn't glass the galaxy in the meantime. It's just dumb. There's other dumb stuff in here too. Like, I don't get why they brought back McKee either. They could have just left her dead. She didn't need to be here. The Arbiter character, we ignored everything that made him the Arbiter. Like, there was none of that buildup. We just had some rando Covenant elite have McKee call him the Arbiter, and now he's the Arbiter, and they have a little side quest that they know is going to put them in danger because they're going to break off from, like, the Covenant's big religious quest that they're on there. And the last thing that I think that they're going to get wrong, I can just feel it. They're setting up Kai to be like some kind of foil to the chief, you know, where she's still with Acklesbury, whatever his name is. And he and it looks like she's been promoted to like a more senior rank within their military there, because the last scene we get is her kind of addressing formations of troops. It's kind of like a Star Wars kind of Clone Wars ending where there's just different formations of the different troops with the dropships taking off in the background, like that kind of scene. So it looks like she's being set up, you know, to fight the chief, because obviously he would destroy Agamemnon, or whatever his name is, Agamemnon. The chief would destroy him, so they're going to have to fight, but he's not going to beat her. They're going to fight to a standstill. You heard it here first. And then she's going to be the one to, you know, to take down Dinglesbury. And then the chief will have a chat with Parangonsky, who will probably escape into season 3 if they make one. I don't know. I hope they don't make one. But yeah, I don't know. The episode, it was a bummer. Too much wasted time. We got all kinds of stuff that nobody needs to see, that nobody believes. Like, we get Quan wanting, like, fighting to demand to bury the body of Vanek because she didn't get to bury the bodies of anybody on her homeworld for reasons, I guess. And then she's taken an attachment to burying this particular person because he represents those people. Okay, but I didn't need 8 minutes on that. You know, I didn't need 8 minutes of Soren's wife, Lyra, trying to act intimidating like Negan from Walking Dead by, like, making a baseball bat with barbed wire around it and threatening the shopkeeper that she needs more info about where her son really is. Like, no one finds this woman intimidating in any world, I'm sorry. And it's even dumber, and you can see where maybe some of the, like, not the inclusion stuff, but just some of the weird modern writing tropes. It's not inclusion stuff. It's weird modern writing tropes where, like, the female character had to be the one that was going to resort to the male style violence to get her way in this show. But at the same time, we send Soren in for a second conversation with the people that claim to have Kessler, and he's going to talk nice to them and lie and be deceptive and be like, oh, I know what it's like to grow up having nothing and this and that. And then for him to follow that up with a conversation like, yeah, but now I'm a guy that can get things, and I know how much it would help you for you to have a friend like me that could get things down to, you know, the outpost here and make your life easier. I'm like, no. Flip-flop. Soren's absolutely the one that I would be intimidated by walking at me with the barbed wire wrapped baseball bat, because, you know, he's huge. He's in Spartan armor. His hands are mutated, and his attitude reeks he could kill me. Lyra, on the other hand, is about 115 pounds carrying a backpack with, you know, 48 trillion pounds of stone in it or something, and looks weird. Like, she's got this gaunt, weird, you know, 1,000-yard stare thing that isn't intimidating. It's just odd. And I wouldn't feel like, if I was the character she was trying to threaten, I wouldn't be threatened by her approaching me with the bat. I'd probably just take the shotgun out from underneath the counter and let her have it. You know, so it just doesn't work. So I don't know. That's all I got on episode 5. I'll stick around because there's only a few more episodes left of this show, but I'm hoping it doesn't get a season 3, because if it goes the way I think it goes with Kai and with the Halo, it's going to be foolish. They're off the rails. It's just.